And we are ready when you are.
All right, guys. Okay, so hi, my name is Jack Jones.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tui.
My name is Neil Patel. My name is Aryan Sharma.
And we are Breast Saver, and we plan to put convenience in the palm of your hands. Literally. So, Breast Saver is a beverage sleep provider for local coffee shops as well as a savior to everyday coffee drinkers. In the United States, 64% of Americans wake up to a cup of coffee. Now that's roughly 200 million people. Now, upon doing customer interviews, we learned that 88% of coffee drinkers have a problem with foul-smelling breath following a cup of coffee. Now, our product, we attach a mint to every sleeve in order to eliminate that foul-smelling breath following a cup of coffee. Now, this is appealing to a lot of coffee drinkers. To put this into context, we decided to use Hogs. Hogs is a huge job to do the next morning. He was up all night thinking what to say and ways to address his potential boss. He woke up the next morning a complete wreck, with little sleep and craving a cup of coffee. So we decided to stop at his local coffee shop on the way. He arrived at the interview with energy and confidence, but also with bad breath. Upon greeting the interviewer, he realized that he was keeping his distance, and that it continued throughout the entire meeting. It wasn't until the end of the meeting where Hogs realized that his bad breath had set a bad impression. He wished there had been a solution. But there is. So Hogs was left stranded without a gum or mint in sight. If the local coffee shop had used Breast Saver sleeves, he would have been able to eliminate that foul-smelling breath prior to the interview and hopefully had a different outcome.
So if we had brought you all like a test sleeve to look at, a little prototype, so we have coffee in the bags right after.
Want the Monty here?
I'm good.
Well, you
Did you
could
get-
look at it.
Okay. Thanks. Hi, Brady's.
Okay, so for our UVP, we decided to split it into two categories. The users being the coffee drinkers and the customers being the coffee shops. For the coffee drinkers, Breast Saver sleeves are far more convenient. The mint is always there, right on the sleeve, rather than having to go to a store and buy a mint pack. Also, this mint immediately improves customer experience by eliminating that foul-smelling breath. Also, using Breast Saver sleeves is far more inexpensive for the customer. If a customer were to buy a coffee every morning, it would cost them 90 cents a month rather than $3 to buy a pack of mints every month.
So as Jack described, the coffee drinkers are much more satisfied, increasing customer satisfaction. Our sleeves also helps the local shops to stand out from the big chains such as Starbucks, and our sleeves are made with high-quality cardboard and fresh mints.
Now for our target market, we decided to go after local smaller chains rather than larger chains such as Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. This is due to the fact that smaller chains often rely on beverage sleeve providers, whereas larger chains like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, as I said before, often create their own sleeves.
So for our total addressable market, we took all the coffee shops in the United States, multiplied that by the average amount of sleeves, multiplied by the unit price of 8 cents for $100 million, and then for the serviceable addressable market, we took only the local coffee shops, so 11,500, multiplied by the same amount of sleeves in a year by our unit price, which I'll get into later, bringing us to a serviceable addressable market of 49 million. So in our first year, we plan to sell to 15 out of the 11,500 local coffee shops. So this brings us to a market share of 0.13% in our first year.
So we decided to split our competitors up into two different sections, one being alternative sleeve providers for our customers, and the other being mint and gum providing companies for our users. Sleeve a Message and Hot Cup Coffee are the two main sleeve providers for local and small coffee shops. What sets us apart from them is that our sleeve basically has a mint attached to it, and it comes fully customizable to meet the needs and wants of a coffee shop. We also found out that our users use products such as mint and gum to remove bad coffee breath, but they often do not carry these products with them. So our two main customer relationships are mainly going to be through Twitter and Instagram. We will be posting regularly about different information and the latest updates in our company. We also sent out an email blast to 100 different coffee shops in the Chicagoland area. This was a very ineffective method, and we got few responses. Instead, we started cold calling many of these coffee shops, and we got an immediate response from them whether they would be interested or they weren't interested in our product. And as of now, our two main channels where our customers can purchase our product is going to be through our online store, which we have yet to release, and through selling face-to-face, which we are currently doing.
So now we'll break down how much it costs to make the actual sleeve. So Looking online, we could get a sleeve straight from the manufacturer with the logo for around 5 cents. And then buying mints in bulk, we could get each mint for 2 cents. And then for cost of packaging, packaging the actual mint, that would be 1 cent per sleeve. We were able to work with Mr. Casey and Thomas Packaging to figure this out. Then cost of assembly would be 1 cent, and then the total cost of goods would be 9 cents.
So as Kevin said, the cost to make one sleeve is going to be around 9 cents. And in order to maximize our profit margin as well as create a reasonable price for the customers and the users, we decided to sell our product for 12 cents. We came up with this number during our interviews when we talked to talked to coffee shops and potential users of our product. This was both in the price range of the customers and the users. And with cost plus strategy pricing, we would make a profit of 25% with each sale.
So our gross profit in our first year is estimated to be $11,500. So this would be selling to the 15 coffee shops that I had mentioned earlier, and then we would expand in later years.
Okay, so I will be talking about our most recent MVP testing. So since Bread Saver Sleeves has both a customer and a user, we decided to run 2 different types of MVP tests. One for the customers being the local coffee shops in the Chicagoland area, and the other one being for the users, which are the people that actually drink the coffee and experience the bad breath. We proved using our MVP testing that both our customers and our users wanted our product. So I'll first talk about how we tested our customer. We used 2 different types of tactics, as Neil said. The first one was sending an email blast to local coffee shops in the Chicagoland area. We sent around 100 emails throughout our MVP testing, and we sent around 15 to 20 each week. So this is like the structure of our email. We'd have around a 1-paragraph sales pitch as to why these coffee shops should sign up with us, schedule a meeting, and work with us closer. We'd be constantly changing this every week to get the best possible results. And at the end of our email, we'd have a link to our website so these coffee shops could contact us, find more about our company. Unfortunately, this was an extremely unsuccessful tactic because of the fact that pretty much all these emails were unread because these are all spam emails we found out, and many people sent spam to these coffee shops, and this overall was not really an effective tactic for us. The second way we tested our customers, and the much more successful tactic, was cold calling random coffee shops in the Chicago area. Whenever we had time to work on our MVP in class, we'd go in the back room over there and just start calling random coffee shops. We called around 100 coffee shops throughout our time, and pretty much every single coffee shop that we talked to, they said that they loved the idea of the design. Unfortunately, due to the fact that these shops are local in size and they're startups and they're all trying to distribute just like us, we didn't get to schedule a lot of meetings, but we did get to schedule 2 to 3 meetings with these coffee shops, which we already met with and have close contact with, and we'll be contacting them as soon as our sleeves are ready to go to the market. So now I'll talk about how we tested our users. So in February, when we pitched to you guys, what we wanted to do was to just have a bowl of mints put at the register of different coffee shops, and then after the purchase of a coffee, the person at the register would offer the user a mint to eliminate bad breath. We found this idea was extremely vague and broad because of the fact that people could just take the mint, give it to their family, not even use it, just throw it away. We wanted people to have the actual sleeve with the mint on. Thanks to our mentor David Wilson, his friend Scott Hunter works for a company called BrewSmart, basically a sleeve manufacturer. He basically made the design of Pepper Park's logo and our logo on the back. But the mint is all thanks to Mr. Casey, who works for Thomas Packaging. He helped us create a special blister packaging on the sleeve. So once we got the mint and the sleeve, we manually put together 100 sleeves with Pepper Park's logo on them, and we tested them on Saturday at Pepper Park. So we got around 50 solid interviews out of the 100 because a lot of people, they're Saturday morning, they're busy, they have to go somewhere, so we got around 50 interviews. 94% of these users thought the idea was extremely convenient rather than just getting a mint in their purse, in their car, or just not having a mint at all. 100% of the users love the design of the product. They don't have an issue with the mint placement or how the sleeve feels on their hand. But something we learned throughout this was customers requested a sugar-free mint instead of a mint with sugar in it. This is maybe because of their medical conditions or just they don't like sugar. And they'd never have to worry about bad breath flying a cup of coffee ever again.
So our first year total revenues will be around $38,000. Then in years 3 or 4, we plan to partner up with a coffee equipment distributor who will be selling our product at a higher scale. And that brings us to our 5th year with an estimate of $973,000. And then our exit strategy is to sell to a coffee equipment distributor such as Brew Smart after our 5 years.
So for our asking amount, we're asking for $10,000. Overall, this will cover our legal fees, our startup costs, and then ultimately our liquidity cushion. For our legal fees, we need to be able to get a design patent and a trademark. That will cost roughly $2,800. As well, we want to get a jump start on our mint production, so we're asking for $500 with the mints. Lastly, we need our website development and our marketing. Both of these are crucial to getting out in front of other coffee shops. And why our liquidity cushion is so big is that all of our startup costs are just a theory at the moment. We have been trying to get in touch with a patent lawyer and a quote from a coffee distributor company in order to get our sleeves with the hole punch, although both had fallen through prior to this. And so we're hoping that in the next few months we will secure that and maybe not need as big of a liquidity cushion. But overall, we're asking for $10,000, and we were willing to give 5% equity. And with the money multiple of 9 times, that would leave the investors with a $90,000 return. And thank you once again. We are Breast Saver, and we plan to put convenience in the palm of your hands.
Are there 11,500 non-Starbucks coffee shops?
Yeah, in the US.
Really like your market approach. That was good way to turn around when you didn't get the results out of it. First one.
At the end of the first year, how many coffee shops did you say that you were going to be targeting? Or with that revenue number that you had, out of how many coffee shops?
So in our first year, we plan to sell to 15 coffee shops.
Okay. And how did you then come to that revenue number? What was the formula that you were using?
So each month we get one extra coffee shop. So then first month it would be 1, second month 2, and the third month it would actually be 2 more coffee shops, because if we're doing 15 coffee shops in our first year, then there's 3 extra coffee shops that we have to get in.
So like a ramp up period?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just doing some math
Yeah.
in relation to, we're assuming that 100 coffees will be sold a day. Is that the number that
Yeah.
you're starting at?
Just-
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That makes sense
average,
then.
yeah.
Okay.
I totally applaud that you actually went through rounds within your MVP. You didn't just start your execution last week and then wrap it up into a presentation. So very well done in terms of thinking it through, but then acting on it quickly. Question for you. This is a neat design. Did you guys go back to Park Coffee and ask them what they thought about this?
Yeah, so I actually had a conversation with them following it. And so as people were leaving, they were kind of confused on the concept that we were there getting interviews for it. So people were leaving and they were giving compliments on the sleeves to the clerks there. And so I actually went up and actually talked to them, and they were like, it's awesome to see these positive reactions. Like, we'd love to talk more once you are further down the stretch with your production.
You know, it's really a unique idea, and ideas like that go on.
It's couple things. Yeah, I echo. Really good idea. I love it. Looks great. Great way for a coffee shop to differentiate themselves, and even if somebody doesn't use the mint, it's just kind of a little catchy that probably works for their own brand. It's really hard to make money at 25% gross profit on a business like this, and I noticed that you kind of use 9 cents and 12 cents. I'm sure people don't buy these one at a time. They buy these by the thousand or the hundreds, which means that you can charge like 12.3 cents or 12.8 cents, or your cost can be, instead of 9 cents, 8.2 cents, because everything doesn't round to a penny. It'd be remarkable if everything rounded to a penny the way you did your unit economics, and I don't think in reality it's going to be that way when you buy, like gazillions of mints. And fractional pennies in this is going to matter, because you need to get your margins higher than 25%. When you start scaling this and you start saying, gosh, I need distribution expenditures and I need salespeople out there and I need fulfillment, you'll find that you're going to need a higher than 25% margin. So that's just some feedback. The other thing, I don't know if Pepper Park gave you this feedback, but every time you go into a coffee shop, they have a gazillion of these things. And the beauty of them without the mint is you can stack like a bunch of them. When you all of a sudden you put a mint into place, you can't stack, like they're all over the place.
So we brought 100 to them and we actually alternated, and it was only this much more space. to
Okay,
get
so
on
you just
there.
flip them, and it still works?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Do you have any idea how much Pepper Park is paying for their sleeves on a per sleeve basis for the regular sleeves? Like
So-
what your incremental cost is?
We were asking Pepper Park about these and questions kind of about that, and so what they do is they have ads on the back of that they pay for with. So they didn't give us an exact number, as they actually don't ever pay an exact number for their sleeves. And so that's what we were kind of thinking of implementing further down the road, is we could run an ad on the back. It'd be like an option if the coffee shop's okay with running an ad on the back, and that would maybe drop $20 off the price of the total sleeve packages, but we would charge roughly $100 to run 1,000 ads on the back of our sleeves, and then that would ultimately increase our.
Interesting, so you could pitch that to Altoids, for example.
Correct, yes.
Well, you're going to be, I would imagine, somewhat content agnostic on whatever's on. You're going to just say, you design the sleeve.
Yeah.
We'll custom,
Your message.
we'll put the mint on it and send it to you, but just like if you were buying gift cards from a company, the client will tell you what they want the logo to be and everything, and then, is that true?
Yes,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
That's
You're not going to get the business of
they're going to be
advertising.
putting in what they want, and then ordering it, and then we're going to be making it and shipping it. So they're ultimately the first step in making these sleeves.
Yeah. I mean, I think the real question is if the average cup of coffee sells for $4.50 and their costs are whatever to make a cup of coffee, $2 or probably way less. The $2.50 of margin that they make, are they willing to give up 2 or 3 cents more in the sleeve to you guys to have a separate differentiation in their product? Seems to me they would, but I don't know their unit economics. So I would, if you guys could find that out, like empathize with your clients, and well, here's your unit economics, and here's how dilutive it is. That means that you only have to get one more customer a week in order to fund, convert it to what additional traffic they need in their store in order to self-fund this, because people go there because of the mint. Hard to prove, but people go there because they just think it's cooler than Starbucks.
Could you go back to your capital requirement? Did you talk to an attorney about patenting?
We had a meeting set up, and they actually fell through on us as we kind of gave a little bit too much leeway that we were kids, kind of starting the business, and they actually were very responsive to us. And the day
I had one of our patent attorneys work with somebody from this class previously, and I can do that again if you
we were welcome
want to
to
access that. And they'll do
Lie
it.
about your age, though.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
They'll do it for free. They'll do it for free. What do you got in here for a product?
So we actually don't need any money to start the production of the product, as the customers are going to be paying beforehand. We make the product out of that money, and then we ship it out to them.
I don't see where you got the Easy Blister machine covered in this thing.
We were hoping to talk about that.
I have a question. Were you guys planning on having the mint sealed into the sleeve?
Yes, we were planning on doing a heat stamp, so that all you have to do is literally push it out from the sleeve, not take it out of the sleeve, and then push it out.
And will these be your own mints, or are you, like, can you resell other?
We're gonna
Company's
just sign a
mints.
label for
Yeah, this would be a generic type mint, so we'd have to get their permission, obviously.
Okay.
I'm not sure that the company's worth, like the post-money valuation, if we invest $10,000 and get 5% equity, that implies a valuation of $200,000, which means that somebody right now, you believe you can go out and sell the idea with what you have, which is a PowerPoint and one store's experience, and a cool design, and some energy you put towards it. But if somebody said, I'll give you $200,000 for the company right now, don't lift another finger, here's a check, $50,000 for each of you, would you take that? Would you take that at high five and laugh all the way to the bank? Yes, you would. Okay. So that's what you're asking us to do. if you give you 200, in essence, say that this is a $200,000 valuation. I might ask you to change that a little bit. Now, you can defend it if you like. I'd love to hear the defense of it, but it seems like valuation is high. I would expect more than 5% equity as an investor for putting the money up front.
Honestly, that's something we've discussed, but we actually, I've been talking to a bunch of other people about this too. And we have been talking to other investors as well outside of the class. And so we do kind of have a couple other people willing to invest already.
You son of a gun.
Well done, well played.
Fine, tell them to come to pitch night. I don't anymore.
So, what are your plans?
So what kind of like our next big step is, so I actually have a connection to a company called Televista, and they're on the verge of starting opening up 100 coffee shops all throughout the United States. And so I've been talking to, one of my relatives is the, I forget her exact position, she's pretty high up, she's one of the top 10 people in the company. And so I've been talking to her about doing our sleeves ultimately, and they're like starting openings, so.
That'd be a great,
Yeah,
that'd be a great
that'd be a
coup,
great
you know,
start.
two businesses start at the same time,
Yeah.
and add uniqueness to each other.
So does that mean you're interested in moving forward?
Yeah.
Yes.
And are those enthusiastic nods?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So is your relative coming to pitch night?
She is unfortunately out of town, so she's not going to be back for a while.
Maybe someone will record it.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, what other investors are you looking at to fund this?
So my father was talking to his accountant, who ultimately on the side is an investment banker, and so my dad just went out to the Cubs game with the other day, and my dad brought our product with him, and he's agreed to our terms.
So you have an investor.
We do.
Yeah.
Double well done.
And would you consider raising more money and giving more equity and having a greater, just having more money to scale this?
That's obviously always an option, yes.
So you're suggesting multiple investors, right?
Well, what I would do if I were you, and I'm not talking selfishly like we want to make an investment, don't take it the wrong way, but if you can have diversity amongst your investor group, there's a very good chance you're going to need more money at some point in time. And if you only have one well to tap, that's tough. If you have more than one well to tap, that's better. So a lot of companies raise money from multiple sources to have the diversity in their investor base. And more importantly, investors won't only just give you money, they'll give you expertise and time. So I would not, if you have a lot of interest in the idea, take advantage of it and raise more money now.
Are you guys aware that Calibre and South Barrington, they serve Intelligentsia coffee?
Yes.
Okay, so I figured, and I know the owner there is always open to, I don't know if you've spoken to him yet, but he is pretty liberal with new ideas and things like that, so maybe you could tie in the relationship with Intelligentsia and getting in there, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, I told these dudes about your podcast coming up.
So, no, I guess I'm doing a conversation in a couple weeks about just figuring out when is the right appropriate time to give away equity, giveaway versus when you want to try to find the capital to fund something. So it might be relevant for a conversation later, but just trying to, we encourage people to think very long and hard about when it makes the most sense to trade equity versus for a service to be completed or something along those lines versus when to find the capital. But it sounds like you guys have a lot of different options going on right now as far as potential investors are concerned. So.
Great job, guys. Thank you. All right.